to the channel. This is the Midnight Shadow. I'm glad to be back with y'all. Now listen, this is designed to be a live show. A little Q&A session for me and some of y'all. But while the crowd's still gathering right now, I'll lead the dance. Alright, fights are in a few hours. Mostly everything is in, everything's done. Couple late night bets from the casuals. What up, savages? UFC savages. What up, casuals? How y'all doing? So this is the last call, This is the last call for you all before we get it cracking tomorrow. It's going to be fantastic. There's a few things I would like to talk to you about before the fights get started. The first one of those being a trend I've been noticing over the last few years in the UFC. And it's a simple one. It won't take long to get into. But basically, whenever we have a really big card coming up, and listen, it works both ways. Whenever we have a really big card coming up, like right before it is this like softball cupcake sort of schedule that is almost too good to be true. But you put the bets in, you do your thing, you get it all out, and it comes out looking pretty good. I've noticed that once we have that cupcake, that layup of a card, which we're looking at this week, that next card is absolutely ridiculous. Tight odds, a lot of upsets, a lot of people losing their money either way, and somebody's winning big. I mean, that's just the nature of it. So I think you all should be aware of that. I'm definitely aware of it. So next week, whatever happens this week, next week, hold on to your dough. Be sensible about what you're playing, please. And I know I'm going to be very, very careful with what I have going on. Now, that's all in the first point. That ties in a little bit to my second point. And that is... I almost forgot what the hell I was talking about. On social media, on Instagram, on TikTok, on X, on Reddit, everywhere in the space for UFC betting, UFC MMA. Like I said, this is a layup, and I think even if people don't know what's going on or why, I think people sense it and feel it with some of the matches. It just seems sort of easy. I see a lot of mistakes being made out there on these cards, especially with the methods. I'm seeing a lot of guys who maybe have 9 or 10 finishes in their whole career, and 9 of them are knockouts, and there's tons of people chasing the submission. I think one guy last week, I can't remember his name, and I wouldn't out him anyway, call his name, but he made a terrible play. An absolute terrible play. It was a terrible play on the odds, and it hit. So you might not say it was a terrible play, but for a guy that had 15, 16 fights in, and for him to have never done this before in his career, and you're going to bet on him to do it, either, you came back from the future in the DeLorean, or you made a terrible play and got lucky. I mean, some of us can admit when we get lucky, some of us can't, but since I seen that play happen, I've been seeing tons of people doing this lately. You take the guy who gets 90% submission rate when he does finish, and he barely finishes, and you're taking him in the first round knockout? Okay. I mean, if you're chasing that, fine. But when you're putting these things out on social media, as if somebody might tell you, I think that's just irresponsible. It's ridiculous. I mean, more than that, if you're betting with any significant amount of dough, or your units or whatever, then you're making a bad risk for some potential hike in ROI. Man, listen, we ain't getting down none of that. We're going to keep breaking them down all the way on the same wavelength. We're not going to get out of pocket because we think the card is easy. Now, this hasn't been the best year. Certainly hasn't been as good as last year. But I think I'm positive at the beginning, you know, we were just chasing tons and tons of methods. We had the Warlord system, and we were so confident in everything that we were sort of betting like, you know, people are betting on this card. No, well, no, I wouldn't say that. People are betting ridiculously. We never bet ridiculously, but we did risk a lot more for that plus money. We love that plus money. You love that plus money. We love that plus money. Who doesn't love the plus money? So, on that, you know, note, I just wanted to say, watch some of these creators out here, especially if they're telling you they got the locks. Although, damn, there might be a few locks. I hate when people say locks, but there might be a few locks this week. Whatever, you know, I got 6 plays in for you. They're all over the place. We got them free. Honestly, the plays are free all the time because, man, I don't even like plays. Plays, picks, ridiculous. You know, that's why we came up with the FPM metric, the final plays made. Is if you're not actually betting on someone to win or lose, then what are you actually talking about, you know? And the space, especially on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, is filled with these ridiculous, hypothetical, nonsense questions, or you know, all these, it's, oh my God, that engagement posts. Dude, if you're doing all these engagement posts, you've got nothing to talk about. You've got nothing going on in the space. Man, we're mixing up. We don't have enough time to post all the damn content we have. And none of it's asking you questions. We're answering your questions. You know, anyway, I don't want to get on a rant. I just wanted to come on here and throw those 2 cautions out. And 11:59 midnight, the Shad0w's Ego Challenge window is closed for this week. If you got your challenges in, thank you. If you did not, don't ever speak to me again. No, I'm just playing. Let me see. You know, it was my original plan to read off all the new challenges, to read the odds, you know, who the users were, but then we might be here for another 10-15 minutes if I tried to sit here and read off all the new challenges just from the repeat, you know, 9 or 10 repeat players. Plus we got a new challenger this week in Thomas174. Let me see. And Thomas is going in on Marcus McGee, Ketlin Sosa, Brendan Allen, Ziam, Joe, Anderson Brito, Bryce Mitchell, and it looks like Jaleesa Chavez. Very similar to my own. I think I did not put on Chavez. I think the number on this is plus 479. Mine was plus 418 for my challenge. Hey, I got my challenge. I never give out my challenge, but since it is after the challenge window has closed, I'll give you guys a look at mine. I can't remember all the 7 names off the top of my head, especially this late, this close to midnight. You know, we still got to work in the morning. But, presto, there is my challenge for you guys. Peep it out. You know, obviously, if you read the rules, you know if I win, then I will move on to the next rung in the ladder. So, I can't wait to get this midnight Shad0w, this last call going. on a more consistent basis. When we get some more people in here, we get some questions going on, and I can answer them for you. And it won't just be me on an MMA ramble, which I'm afraid it's probably going to be for a few weeks, but I don't care. I do love to ramble. I do love to talk. That's why I'm up here. That's why I'm in this space, because I'm prepared for it. You're not prepared for it. No, I'm just kidding. That's a little Eric Thomas from Motiversity. If you guys ever want to get out there, check out a great video, 18 minutes of testosterone. It's one of the most fantastic videos I've ever seen. I probably watched it like 100 times already. Yo, it's hot as hell out here now, but it's a good time of year. And listen, before y'all start making jokes, one of my main partners already beat you to the punch. When I showed him my setup and my light glowing with the light off, he asked me, what was I, developing pictures in here? You know, shout out to Benny D. No, we're not developing pictures. This is not the dark room. This is the shadow realm, where we break it down, where we make the money. And tomorrow we are going to make some more for you. This is a very brief video. We plan for these probably to be about 15, 20 minutes. Man, I was going to say like a half hour in space. And I assume it could be with a lot of questions going on. But if it's just going to be me rambling about the State of the Union on the North Coast, I would not keep you guys that long. I would not do that to you. So I will leave you with Shadow Creep is the beat. Metrics on the beat. Metrics is a beat all-star. He's got several tracks that we use. One of them is available for use. The others are all mine. North Coast Media exclusive, fully licensed. So YouTube, don't you be hating on me. No more strikes, right? This is all my